right, again, thank you all for coming tonight. We've been quite busy in the last several months, and we've had big agendas and budgets and all kind of things going on. Tonight's agenda is a little light, so that's good. We have some opportunity to discuss a few upcoming events and things like that that's going on with the town. So what you have before you, Alderman, is the approval of the minutes. I'll let the record reflect that Alderman Reed is absent. Everyone else is present. He's unable to be with us tonight, not feeling well. And so y'all keep him in mind. The minutes you should have before you, and you, I hope, have had an opportunity to read those and review those. We'll accept a motion to accept the minutes.
I so moved.
Okay. Motion by Alderman Carter.
I'll second it.
Second by Alderman Maynard. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll have a roll call for approval. This is Alderman Carter.
Aye.
Alderman Wood.
Aye.
Alderman Morgan.
Aye.
Alderman Maynard.
Aye.
It will pass. I'll have to pause here for a moment. A few of those calls you got. So our attorney is calling us. I hope he don't think he got a meeting tonight. He gonna answer if you step out there for me. Just tell him I called him when we're finished. Sorry about that. You never know when our attorney Cobb will call or what we got going on, and he calls. You know, he has other folks he works with as well. So, all right. Back to our meeting. One of the things that came out of new state law is that we have to have a designee for administering and enforcing the ethics policy. That person has to be reported to the state. You should have in your packet. Our representative is Lewis Cobb, our attorney. He will be enforcing the ordinance. I think you have that in front of you.
Yes.
Is that in your packet?
Yes.
I'm looking for mine there. He is responsible for that. You also see some other key individuals that are on that form. There you go. I have appointed Randy Carter, Nathan Reeves, and Teresa Morgan as the alderman appointees, and Kathy Smith will be an appointee by the government, be Hardin County Commission, and then Ms. Olga Turnbow, she holds an office or position as a school board member, and she will also be on that committee. So the committee appointees, the main one that has to be reported to the state is Lewis Cobb, so you will all know, you have that document in front of you, they've all accepted that appointment. Take a motion to accept those appointments.
Make a motion, we accept that.
Motion by Alderman Wood,
I'll second it.
second by Alderman Maynard. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll all vote by acclamation by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, it'll pass. Okay. Next on our business, we have the public comments. Again, that's another new thing from state law, that you have to have an opportunity to have public comment on items germane to the agenda. And I did have one person sign up.
Sherry.
Ms. Sherry?
Yes.
Okay. Is it about an item that's on our agenda
No.
tonight? Okay, I will go ahead and allow it since we don't have a lot going on.
I would like to kind of bring to the attention a safety issue out on Highway 69 across from the red shed. The neighbors do have LED lights that are motion activated. And the other night, we were coming back from Milledgeville, and they blinded not only the truck in front of us and they slammed on their brakes, but they also blinded us. And I'm afraid there's going to be a very serious accident there if something is not done. And I don't want to hear about a serious accident, honestly. I said, it's just, to me, it's a grave safety issue that I would like to see addressed, please.
Okay. All right. We appreciate you bringing that to our attention.
Thank you.
All right, no one else has signed in tonight, so I guess we'll move right ahead. There is no old business to speak of at the moment. New business, we have an item that has been brought up to us about hometown hero banners. This is a program to recognize our veterans and those that are veterans that are alive and those veterans that may be passed. So This program would be paid for by the families of those that would like to be recognized. And Ms. Ann, you want to speak to that at all? You want me to tell them about it, basically? So we have a order form that families can pick up, and it simply is the program for the veteran. Looks kind of like this right here. It'd be a banner, kind of like the banners that are hanging on Main Street now. We have to have a minimum of 5. We like to have these, if people want to participate, to have these up by Veterans Day this year. They'll hang up all year long, and we'll have to identify what poles we'll put them on. So it'll be a pole banner with their picture and what branch of service they were in. It doesn't cost the city any money to do this because the families pay to recognize their own member of their family, relative, or friend or whatnot. So that's just a program that we are putting out from the mayor's office to recognize some of our. You might have any questions about that at all? The deadline, what is the deadline?
I think October 5th.
Well, yeah, October the 5th is when we must have these ordered. I would more so say the end of September would be the best time. We've already got 5 committed. We've just kind of spread it around by word of mouth for those that are interested, that we've seen. So it's, they'll hang up from now on. And I think we said at the end of 5 years on this order form, at the end of 5 years, they can take the banner home because it only lasts so long. But at the end of 5 years, they can take the banner home. Okay. Any questions about that at all? Nothing to necessarily vote on or pass. It's just something from the mayor's office, and that it doesn't cost the city any money. All right. Mayor's report. I share a few things with you about happenings. Of course, the this month has been quite busy. Barbecue Festival went really well. Kansas City Barbecue Fest. They had to change their name. I don't know if you heard about that, but now it's the Tennessee River Barbecue Festival. They had a little legal issue with the name. They just had to make a change because another organization has that name. So their feedback was great. They loved Saltillo. They loved the town. They had a lot of local folks helping them put it together. It was blistering hot, and they have committed not to return in August. So they will be back at some point. And just so the board knows that the town does not select the date of the contest. They get a few dates that they can do the contest from the organization, and then we look at the calendar to see what day works best with our facility. Knowing the boat ramp is very busy throughout the summer, so there's some things that we have to avoid as far as time of year. However, this contest was bigger than the previous. They expect the next one to be even bigger. Had 8 states represented. I think it was 26 cookers there. And then the folks that were here for the water sports did quite well in cooperating with the traffic down there. Everybody did a great job. I heard very few complaints. We had a mechanical breakdown of power. Lexington Electric really saved us and did us a great favor in helping us to keep the power going. In addition to Darnell Lowry, we called him out we had, first thing happened, we blew a breaker, but then we had so many campers down there with their trailers and all their apparatus. The Lexington Electric had to had to upgrade the transformer. So now we have a bigger, better transformer, and hopefully next year everything will work all right. But Matt and the guys at Lexington Electric really do a great job to keep the power on, not only for this, but every time things happen, they come to our rescue to make that happen. So, if you have any questions about Barbecue Fest, I would entertain those. If you have any questions, I saw a lot of you down there. Any questions? Okay, we'll move right on. System-wide park plan is underway. We've had one initial focus group, and then they had a meeting again today with another organization, and they met ladies group and talked to them about their ideas and thoughts about that. So you'll hear more about parks plan coming forward. The Downtown Smart Business Tennessee Smart Start program. We are now a Smart Start community. I went to a training and development. Talks about how we incorporate new businesses in town, how to get them started, how to draw them into town. And basically the way that they can start, know who to talk to about their business or where to start, be it through the Chamber of Commerce or through City Hall or other places like that. So that was a great informative meeting that now we're a Tennessee Smart Start community. Any questions about that at all? All right. Let's see, September the 11th at 4:30 at the Tennessee River Museum, they are going to unveil their conceptual plan for the Tennessee River Line, Tennessee River Towns. I would encourage community members to come out to that at 4:30 because some of you may have initially filled out a survey on the computer about what you like about the riverfront in our area, and then some people I think met at the riverfront all through the University of Tennessee, kind of where it starts, and that they're going to unveil their concept. I'm interested to see it because I don't know what all is involved. So that is going to be something that, you know, if you don't engage and go and check it out, you know, they're going
I'm
to.
excited to hear about it.
Yeah, and so this conceptual plan is not complete. They're still taking, once it's unveiled, additional feedback and things from our community about what we envision along with that plan. So a big deal here on September the 11th. Many of you may have heard the news, but Patrol Officer Will Banks has left the town of Saltillo. He now works for Adamsville Police Department, and he chose to go there because he gets paid a little bit more and he got a little bit better working hours. So if we're going to continue to recruit officers to come and help us out here, we're going to have to think about some of those things that other departments may offer. Of course, they're quite much larger than we are, and he's I say moving up to another department. So we bid him best wishes in his new position. Tonight, the members of the Hardin County Commission and some members of the Election Commission are meeting together. Mayor Davis has made a committee together to try to work with the Election Commission and our county to get our polling center back. So you may hear some things around town about that. They're meeting tonight. So I don't know what will be the outcome of that. Of course, our goal is to get our polling precinct back in Saltillo. So we'll find out what they do. But the Hardin County Commission meets Thursday night, and I will be there, and hopefully they will share something about the development of what this meeting was. So Don Robertson is one of our local folks that is on that committee. So just to let you know that Mayor Davis included him, and that's good for us, being he's right here from our community. All right, and so I believe that's kind of all the updates that I have and things going on. The financial report, we'll move to that right quick. So if you look through your financial report, you may see some things where we have spent some money, and I will first just let you know that we transferred $12,460 from the ARPA fund regarding our siren project. So we had to pay a percentage on the siren project. So you should see that on page 1 of your expenditures revenue form. And it talks about grant revenue. You should see a year-to-date number on there. We received the grant money from the siren, which is $83,364.10. And then we also have the $12,460 in that amount as well. So we had some money in ARPA and the grant come in. And so then you'll see later on where that money goes out if you've already reviewed your revenues expenditure form. So just let you know, I think we paid the bill on the siren, done with that project. We'll look on to 2024. Any questions about that? The siren project is done, and we paid them. We've got everything taken care of. We also had to pay Southwest Development. You know, they are the ones who help manage the grant program, so we had to pay them a fee as well. So it's all in there. So you'll see that. That's a big expenditure this month for us. Let's see. I don't know if there's anything else that would jump out to you other than that one. It shows that we were 1,582% over budget. Really wasn't, because that money was not in our account at the time. We couldn't project that because we don't have any control over revenue. So that number just kind of jumps out. If you look down to fundraisers and revenue, the poker run was a great success. The total money that was turned into the city was $5,765. That was the total that was turned into us. Of course, out of that revenue stream, we paid for t-shirts. And so t-shirts were reimbursed. You'll see that in expenditures as well. The poker run was a great success. A lot of people participated, and they made pretty good money. And with part of the proceeds that we bought some picnic tables and trash cans, and there's a little bit more money. So the actual profit from the poker run after the t-shirts were paid for was $4,100, somewhere in that neighborhood. So they did real well. And you'll see where we paid for some other things out of that. Okay. Anything about revenue? Y'all okay with that? If you look through expenditures, there's a couple things I will point out here. Professional services. If you look at page 2, we've got a year-to-date budget here for professional services, 7414. One of those expenditures that are in that, we pay MTAS a fee as well, and this month we paid them $1,750 out of that account. So it takes a little bit of money to where MTAS they support small municipalities like ours because we don't have a full staff, and then of course Southwest Development, we pay them money too because they help us manage other aspects of city government and projects. So I don't know if you have any questions about any of that. It's pretty much in that line item. I will tell you everything is on track for police department. You should expect some expenditures for some tires in the next few months. We're gonna need a set of tires and get that thing going for the winter time. I looked at them with Chief the other day, and they looked like they needed some replacement here really soon. And then if you look down at fire department, the numbers you have in front of you may not be 100% accurate because we printed this out before everything else came in. I will tell you that we, in the parade and training, we are reimbursing Assistant Chief for the transportation of the training module that was out here. I don't know if y'all saw that posted on the computer or whatnot, but the training module cost us like $495 of transportation. Had to go get it in his personal vehicle, had to bring it back. So we reimbursed his mileage based on our mileage policy. So that $1,500 of training, you'll have, $495 taken out of that. Everything else on the fire department is looking good. We do have some additional fuel costs this month that we've received. And Chief, if you want to, in a minute we get to departments, if you want to speak to any of that, we'll let you do that. So there was a couple. And we're planning our budget next year. Although this is September, we'll start this new budget here in just a few months down the road. We need to consider that aspect of fuel usage for fire and police if we need to increase that. You'll see by the end of middle ways through our budget where we are, and that'll kind of help guide you on any increases that we require. And then in the maintenance department, they're on track as well. No big deal there. Managing the account pretty well, but we are going to need some tires and alignment on that vehicle. So that's going to be an expense you see in a month or so. Everything else looks like it's on track. If you see in that far right column about the remaining budget. So, we're just kind of early in our budget this year, so everything looks like it's on track and doing fine. Street aid on page 3. I believe it is. So, I'm sorry, page 4 is street aid on that, I believe. Yeah, so it's all on track. You can see in the revenues and expenditures, we're doing real well there. If you have any questions about that. And then the final page, it kind of gives you a picture of our overall revenue stream. And so we're in the black there. We're doing really well. So in your account statement that you have in front of you, you'll see that the ARPA funds, we took a big draw out of that. And the River Day includes the revenue, that's actually the bank account. River Day, we put the proceeds from the profit from the poker run into that number. So not all of that in that account is for River Day. Okay, so in the River Day budget is on your revenue and expenditure report too, so. All right, any questions about financials? Doing real well at the moment, with some things that are coming up. Good, yes.
Can I ask, and this may not be the right place to do this, but, looking over the revenue and expenditures, the street signs, the asphalt paving, the tree trimming, I mean, have we, committed to doing any of those? And, I mean, a tree broke my windshield, and driving around today, or yesterday, I didn't realize Allen Drive is horrible with potholes. So I didn't know if that's something we are, looking into, that we're trying to get estimates for, or,
Well, Allen Drive is taken care of by the county.
oh,
The
okay.
city, you know, but now we have looked at some areas, matter of fact, we looked at some areas around town that do need trimming or whatnot, but we have to get a bid on what we have based on what we think is really a problem. Couple of roads I go down, trees are hanging open everywhere, so you can very easily spend a lot of money in a very small space because lots of trees are hanging over. Some of our highly trafficked areas, like on Willis Street, down through there, we trimmed those a few years ago. But some of those high traffic areas are where we're trying to focus first based on our, you know, the money that we have in the account. Yeah. Or the budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you're looking at tree trimming, you know, how far is the city responsible for on city side streets, whatever, opposed to where does the homeowners, is there a measurement?
Yes,
Okay.
the city.
From the center of the road or
No,
from the
from
side
the
of
edge,
the road?
for city streets, from the edge of the road to the back of the ditch, if there is one. And if there's not a back of the ditch, is 6 foot from the edge of the road. That is the city right of way. Now, 69 State Highway, they take care of that, and that's a different measurement.
sort, yeah.
But for, let's just say, right here, on Oak Street, is 6 foot from the edge of the road or to the back of the ditch. And here we have ditches. There's other places around, like on the street, that don't have a ditch all the way down, so that's kind of where it's at.
Well, on our street, one side I think has a ditch, on the west side, and maybe the right side doesn't, I don't remember a ditch.
Yeah.
So we as a city are responsible for what's hanging over from that 6 foot area? Or what? I mean, cause with the winds we've had, it's an issue around town that people are talking about, and I'll talk about it on my own street because it's the same way. I mean, they just, I do everything I can, but should that responsible person that owns that land?
Well, legally, there's some things that you could do with the homeowner, making sure that you're covered to cut anything out there, okay? However, the limb hanging over the street, the city has obstructions that they can clear if they need to. But just going and trimming all the trees just because they're hanging over the street, I mean, like I said, that can be costly, and that can be done.
Oh, yeah.
And some communities do that because they have the money and have the equipment to do it. We have to contract out with somebody to do that kind of stuff, yeah.
Well, they don't have to be all cut, but they're viable, living things, but when they're, you know, when they're dead, no green, then, anyway, I just, all of those three things were,
Well, the
listed
short
right
answer
there.
to your question is that we don't have a specific plan to cut any specific tree. And we don't have any specific plan for that.
I want to mention, there's 2 spots that I'm familiar with that's right there on the road, that stop signs, you can't hardly see if anything's
Yeah.
coming.
And where's that?
Well, over there at the end of Willis Street, up the Saltillo Road, and then on Willis Street over there at
Okay.
69.
Okay.
I mean, you've gotta almost
pull out the
Yeah.
road.
pull out
Yeah,
the
those,
road
yeah,
to.
those things that would be priority issues for sure, if you have something that's covering up a stop sign, you know.
Well, I mean, it doesn't cover up the stop sign, but when you, say if you're going down Willis Street to Saltillo Road, you just have to duck and hope it's, your vision's enough, there ain't nothing coming.
I guess. Yeah, I think the same thing was going on at Doe Road, where
Right.
weed was going out to the edge of the street, so,
Yeah.
okay.
That
All
is
right.
for right now, I don't know who all did that,
Yeah.
but it is so much better.
Okay, anything else? Good question, on it. Good question. All right, any, reports from Alderman? Any report?
Well, I just have one thing, well, I have more than one thing. So we are gonna have, Halloween trick or treating downtown, I just kinda wanna make it as an announcement, on October 31st at, downtown, and I'll be, putting that out there as far as how we're gonna do it this year, so we don't, the kids aren't running, across there. And, in case anybody don't know, the Christmas parade will be Saturday, December 2nd, and I'll be getting that out there. I was just waiting until after Saltillo Day, so we had all that going. And, I am gonna ask, we need some boards replaced down there on the dock. Man, it's getting a little bad down there. A few boards, I know we replaced some. And I'm not saying that all need replacing, but we just got some that do need replacing. We
Yeah,
got- I tried to screw them down, you know, I took the drill down there, I've tried to work on it
Yeah,
too.
well, I got a couple calls about that in the last couple of weeks, and, Jimmy Jernigan and Carl, we all went down there and replaced some of the rubber, or redid it for Labor Day, so it would be in decent shape, but there are some boards that are bucked up, because you gotta have some self-tapping metal screw. The way they put it together is probably not, the decking, probably not the best way to do it. There's a couple other things there that we looked at, but yes, there's some boards that need to be replaced, no doubt about that. As we come to the end of the season, we may have some time through the winter or early
Right.
spring to really do some of
Well,
that.
that's
In
why
addition
I'm-
to the staining of the steps, and so they need to be treated, so that they just don't rot away. But they need some, treatment on it, but yeah. Good.
Just mention it, cause I try to get those that are curled up so bad.
Yeah. All right, anything else? Any other, okay, we'll move on. Department reports, Chief, I mentioned you just a minute ago. Chief Young, you have any report from fire department?
Yep, been doing a lot of training, got more training coming up in November. That's the biggest thing. You ain't gaining a few members. I also wanna notify the board on the ordinance enforcement. I need to find somebody else, cause I'm not gonna do it no more. So you appoint a different enforcement officer.
All right.
Well, is that part of the job responsibilities?
That's not a fire chief job.
Well, we'll go back to that,
was-
Chief.
That was an an office that the fire chief agreed to do.
We'll go back and look at the minutes when it all started. I don't, because I wasn't part of that, but, I appreciate you letting us know that you're not gonna do that part of the job. And we'll look at it and go from there. And we'll, discuss a little bit more with the board moving forward on who's gonna do that, and who's gonna take responsibility of it. Any other reports from you, Chief? No? Okay.
Can't think of anything.
All right, so, any of the other departments, mayor's not here, our chairman for River Day is not here, he's not available. Anybody got River Day, you want to say anything about it? September the 16th, everything moving along, getting things in place, got vendors going, all the committees met, all that kind of stuff. Gonna start setting up Monday week, anybody that's available, want to help set up.
We need volunteers.
Yeah, maintenance team will start working on it Monday as well. Okay,
We have a nice kids area, if anybody wants to volunteer some time to kinda, be there. We do have several volunteer opportunities, I think, that, for anybody that, I've had a couple of people already come to me, but, yeah.
Okay. Well, the final thing I didn't mention earlier, but since Chief mentioned it, so, 53 Cozy Loop, that's one of the properties that was on the list of things that need to be addressed. I've been in contact with them multiple times in the last month, and they had a contract group come out, cleaned that lot up, got it looking great. The house still looks like it's probably questionable about its ability to be repaired, but they cleaned up the yard, and there's a few others that have contacted me that are working on their property. So they haven't done anything yet, but 53 Cozy Loop, if you go around there, they've taken care of it. In that area, some other people have bought properties and cleaned those up, and it's looking pretty good over there. We do have some other properties, one on 69, I know everybody sees it with high grass. I talked to the owner of that, the family owns it, and so they're trying to get somebody to bush hog it and clean it up and things like that. So I've talked to a few neighbors over there about that one as well. So some of those things that Chief is gonna resign from doing, I've been doing anyway in the background, making phone calls, making contact, figuring out, what is the situation. Some people may have inherited a property, and it may be in multiple family names, and so it can be somewhat complicated. But some are not as complicated that can be addressed. So we'll work through that with our attorney and the other ways to do that.
So
and
the way to do that is to 5 people, if I understand this right, when we talked about it the last time, 5 people do they have to write a letter? Is there a form they come fill out here? How does that do?
There's a couple things involved here. There's 2 ordinances that kind of address these issues. The easiest way to do it is the junkyards ordinance that says 5 members of the community can make a complaint on a property or it's reviewed, or the mayor or his designee can deal with it without those 5 people. And so if you look at the ordinance about junkyard, it kind of gives the mayor the autonomy to deal with those properties straight ahead. Now, the mayor can't condemn a property. That has to be done by, the fire chief, fire marshal, things like that. But the junkyard ordinance can be addressed from the mayor's office. Not the best practice, because this takes a lot of time, takes a lot of phone calls and things like that. And the mayor is not the one that should be doing that all the time. It should be a designee to handle those kind of things, because what's gonna happen when it comes back to the board, the mayor has to be basically the hearing officer, because when we send them a letter, they've got 10 days to respond to it. So it puts the mayor in a odd situation where he's the one telling them to clean it up, but then he's gotta have the hearing in 10 days. And so the way that ordinance is written is the best practice that someone else sends a letter, addresses the property owner, if they want their hearing, and like the folks at 53 Cozy Loop, they didn't want a hearing. They just said, hey, what do we need to do to kind of make it better for you guys? Because we're out of state, and we're in, the owners are in Africa somewhere, and they won't be back for several months. And so they were very in agreement to do it. They didn't ask for a hearing, so, it's an easy fix. Some people may want a hearing, and so if the mayor's doing it, the mayor can't be the enforcement agent and the hearing officer as well. That's why I think back when they asked Chief Young to do that work, that it gave the mayor the ability to have a hearing. And so, you can't have, I guess, I call it like double jeopardy almost. I'm telling you, you gotta clean your yard up, then you're gonna have a hearing, and then I'm gonna tell you, hey, you gotta clean up anyway. So it's just a practical matter in talking to our attorney and how it should work. But it's not a requirement that 5 people complain. But if 5 people in the neighborhood have a property they're concerned about, sure, they can all complain about it, and something may or may not be done. It just depends on the situation. Okay. Long story to that, but yes, we have an ordinance that guides us. Yeah.
So now that Kenny has resigned, will we be moving toward a codes officer that we've discussed over the years off and on? Hiring a codes officer, which means someone with building background, electrical, plumbing, will we be looking for someone to fill that job?
Well, I think that's an item for the agenda for next month to
Okay.
discuss that. Because that's not on our agenda tonight, we're not really gonna go into detail about that. It needs to be on the agenda. That way the community, if they wanna have some feedback about it, they'll have a chance to come in and make their public comments about it. All right. Anything else? All right.
Did you mention that? I'm sorry.
I just said coat, you mean about the
No,
coat there?
no, I was talking about the, I thought you said something else. We were talking about, we were gonna ask, and I'm probably at the wrong place, but we were gonna ask about the, Greg Billings Mayor Facebook site. Is that an official city Facebook
Yes.
site?
Yes, it's from the mayor.
It is from the mayor,
It's from the mayor,
so,
that makes it official.
okay,
Because it's the
so,
mayor's office making the post, just like they do in Jackson, every other place around the
so
community.
if somebody wants to, let's just say I want to, I want to put the, trick or treating out.
Mhm.
Can I do that myself and then, or is that something that,
If you're in charge of an event, you can post it wherever you wanna post it yourself. If
I
you're a.
prefer that it be somewhere official, because there seems to be there's too much other stuff going around.
Yeah, well, we have two places that are official, the mayor's page and the website.
Yeah.
So anybody in the community that wants to get public notices, they can go to our website and they can sign up for public notices to come out, and it'll send them to them every time we get a public notice. Matter of fact, this Smart Start community, that was a public notice I put out, okay? So we can do that, or something like a community activity, you can send that to the mayor, to me, and I will post it out on the mayor's page. Just like I did with the barbecue fest, that I posted out, hey, they were gonna start here, I'm getting information from this committee, and they're gonna do this, and so, yeah, certainly for that. I mean, that's really the best way. And, it makes it a little bit easier to monitor, because, you know, if I'm the mayor or somebody else is the mayor, they can do their own page, and they can control what comes in and out.
Right.
But, you know, some people debate, should the comments be on or not? Well, some people make comments that are appropriate, some people make comments that are not. And so I think the community have an opportunity to respond or ask a question via social media is okay for the most part. But we do have, you know, a few people that you see posted that there's things that may be inappropriate that they post. And so trying to keep it more professional, and the stream, get it from the source, be it the website or the mayor's page. But some of the other pages around town, we got a bunch of them. That's one thing, that they got all kind of pages. But some people copy what I put out and they repost it, which is great, you know. However we get the word out, our community is small, it's diverse. Some people have technology, some don't. Some people live here, some people don't. But,
We have a Facebook page from Saltillo for every 50 people that live here. Let's think about that. For every 50 people that live here, there's a Facebook site about Saltillo.
all right, but good point. You know, trying to get out information to the community is always difficult. You know, as a former school principal, same thing. Trying to get information to parents, to community, board members, it's difficult to get that word out. So more people sharing it. You know, who was it? Paul said, even if the message was wrong, it's better it be shared than not shared at all. Right?
I don't know, but
Was that not Paul? I'm not a preacher.
I don't think that.
I'm not a
I
preacher.
don't think that
Maybe,
was.
maybe.
Or were you
I'll
looking
leave
for
the
a
preaching to
chap-
somebody
Were
else.
you looking for a chapter and verse? Our preacher's not here, so maybe Randy
There
can
you
help
go.
you.
All right, I'll have to Google it when I leave. All right.
somebody's-
Anything else? On that note, we probably need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you all for coming out.